We should be good to go now. The latest Windows update knocked out the access to my microphone. So there we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, thank you guys. Through all the difficulties, you guys got me up to 1,000 likes here on TikTok. Thank you guys so very much. All right. So, man, 9 minutes of technical difficulties. It's okay though. But yeah, sorry about that. Last night when I did, well, it popped up and I said, okay, no, not now. But as soon as I put my phone, like at the end of the day, I take my phone and my computer, and I put it to sleep, so that, or I'll reset it. Actually, last night was a day of shutting down and restarting. So when I did that, it automatically did the update, and whatever that update was, it knocked my microphone offline. And of course, don't find that out until you're live. That, I have no microphone access. So anywho, let's go through this again, shall we? I am, and then on all of that, trying to do that part, I did not come over here and share this out properly. OMG, yo, oh Lord, please bear with me, Father, in the name of everything that is holy, Father God. Oh Jesus, it'll be okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Oh Lord, okay. Just give me a moment now, because now that threw me off. I know for those who are watching the playback, it's going to be 10 minutes of, oh, girl, what the heck is this? You're not talking about anything. It's a live broadcast. Things happen when you are live. So if you've gotten this far and not jumped ahead, then it's coming, okay? I'm probably going to lose a lot of people when they watch the playback of this, because it's 10 minutes of absolutely nothing. And then because there's no sound, they're going to think that the whole video has no sound, the whole live. So I'm going to end up doing this again anyway, but yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's go over here. All right. They've been shared out, all that kind of good jazz and whatnot. It does not even matter. Like, that's why I stream on all platforms, wherever you get notification at. Hey, join in, tap in. So in all honesty, it really does not matter which platform you watch on. Okay. No, you didn't have to go and come back in. It was on me. It was my microphone. It wasn't on you. It wasn't anything on you. All right. So there we go. All right. So let's get the ball rolling. All right. So hello everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are also the home of the amazing Honesty Speaking product line, and what today's live is about, 365 Creative Academy. But if you don't know, probably, you probably follow me because I posted something in a group, over here, you like, one of the videos I've done, or maybe, just from YouTube, and you've caught a YouTube video, you subscribe to it, but you don't really know who Shakia the Professor is. So allow me a moment just to kind of let you know who I am, so that you can also understand the classes and things that are up on the site, and it'll probably help you figure out, if my program and investing into yourself, as well as, our company and our programs, is going to be beneficial for you. So I have been teaching basically like silhouette for about 8 years now. I am someone who has been in business, or I'm not going to say in business. I will be very honest in saying that I've had several years where I have monetized my gifts, skills, and gifts and skills and my passions, right? I started this journey and kind of got into the whole creative space and designing and things way back when I was in high school. And over time, I've held other jobs. I've not always been this entrepreneur, and I've had my own business. I've been in the military. I spent years, in the Air Force, and in the Air Force, I kind of started building for this business where when I was stationed in Korea, doing events and parties because we're in a remote location. So the fact that I could spray paint some stuff and make it look amazing, because we're still celebrating birthdays. We had people that got pregnant over there. We had baby showers. And I was like the resident event planner on base when I was in Korea. But during that time, it's like we're remote. I didn't really see it as a business. It was my outlet. It was something that I was very, very passionate about. My dorm room had so much stuff in it. It was ridiculous how many things and how much stuff I had, just for events and parties. And that's kind of where some of this started. And even before I went to the military, as a teenager and as a young adult, throwing a baby shower for a cousin who was young and, ended up with child. So my journey started in this passion and building it up to where I'm to this point, not just jumping into it and automatically making it, and monetizing it. I spent many, many years where it was just a passion of mine. It was a gift of mine. It was just me developing my skills. Once I got, even with, being in the military, having jobs at American Airlines Arena, working for Brinks Home Security, installing security systems, working at Florida Memorial College, being the freshman advisor and advisor to Miss Florida Memorial and things like that. Like, there's so many things in my background that has gotten me to this point. I've interned at a radio station. So understanding the marketing and branding and just seeing different things, seeing artists come in and the business side of music, I come with a vast level of experience and knowledge, which I have now turned into something where I can help and teach others, right? I was using Silhouette Studio for many, 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 many years now. But when I was doing event stuff and I was kind of in it, once I went full-time entrepreneur, once I had my son, I did everything by hand. I was cutting. I am a whiz when it comes to scissors and an X-Acto knife. Those things will look like they are professionally cut on a machine because I perfected my skills with that. When I found the Cameo, because my hands were starting to cramp up, I was getting brace arthritis and carpal tunnel and all that stuff. I had to find something else because there were some things that would happen with Cricut. That's a whole story. I've told that story, whatever. And I came across the Silhouette Cameo. I have 6 of them. I have 3 of the original Cameos. There is the Silhouette SD, but that's not a Cameo. So I've been a part of this since the original Cameo machine, and I have all 4 series. And it changed everything for, I'm going to still say business, but then it was just a hobby that made us extra money. My husband's job took care of pretty much everything else, and it was a hobby that I monetized. Because I'm not going to say that back then I did everything as an effective business. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I did a lot of things the hard way. I had a lot of heartaches, a lot of hard nights, and I've kept account of those. And in my success now, I try to use my experiences to help others. You're going to have your own growing pains. That's a given. There's no way around your growing pains. Someone can give you all of the tools. They can tell you sites. They can tell you programs. They can show you step by step. But once you have to step into those shoes and you have to do the work and you have to experience the mistakes, the customers that I came across may not be the ones that you came across. You might have someone that's going to be, you may have smooth sailing and never have a bad experience. You're going to have some where it's going to be they're going to test your patience and make you want to give up. So no one can ever truly give you a full-on roadmap or blueprint. All I can do is share my experience, the things that I've gone through. And hey, if by some chance on your journey you happen to experience these these are some things that you can do, and these are things that help me. And if you're like me, they may help you. If not, here's some suggestions on what you can do to kind of combat that. That's kind of where I come from. I'm never going to give someone a 100% guarantee that everything in business is going to be great. You take my program, it's going to be perfect. You're going to make money, because that's just not the case. There are multi-million-dollar companies that still fold for whatever reason. The pandemic showed that for a lot of people. I mean, I look at the fact that babies are rust, Toys R Us. These are, which were major companies, and whether it is from upper management not being able to handle the shift in society or the market, these are companies that folded. And us as like newer companies, and we're just starting out, we want to try and set ourselves up to maybe avoid some of those pitfalls, but we have to also be very realistic in the fact that they're going to happen. Business, taking on or starting a business is a risky investment. You're taking chances with it. There's no guarantee of success. You're going to put in and dump in a lot of money. You're going to probably take some of my trainings, and if they don't work, or you feel like there's a gap there, you may take someone else's training, and it may not, like as a whole, work for you. That is being totally honest, and that is the reality of it. But what my goal is to take all of my experiences and the things that have worked and then that have not worked, and maybe the things that did not work for me, just by me sharing them with you, they may work for you. All right. And I've been doing this, like I said, for a really long time. I've had I kind of still have one 365, HS Sync 365 Prints is what the business is now, with making things like shirts. I've been successful in making shirts, in making party favors, in making party decor, 3D, 3D sculptures and stuff from foam board. Like, I mean, I have pretty much done it all. As a single woman, as someone who has been in a relationship, through our engagement, through having children, I've experienced this journey at so many different levels, where some of you guys may be at. How do you navigate this as someone who is single, but you still want to have a social life? Well, how much do you have to give up? Dealing with a significant other, not understanding those sleepless nights and how much time you put into it. Not being able to go out on dates, or not being able to have, that sexy time because you're just exhausted. How it affects, the effects that it can have on your marriage, the effects that it can have on your family, on your children, on your friendships. I have friends who I still consider them to be my friends. Those are like my diehards since high school, and pretty much since high school. But with me trying to build this empire, I've had friendships that have gone, that we're not as tight, as strong. I'm not talking to them as much. They don't understand it. Me not being able to be there for them as a friend, and maybe how I was there as a friend before I was an entrepreneur. So many things in your life will change once you embark on this journey, and you're saying, hey, I want to at least take the first step in creating something that can be as big as any major conglomerate. As far as print shops, Office Depot has a print shop in there. If you think about local print shops where you are, the Sticker Mules, the what's the other one that people go to? Not the Sticker Mule, and there's oh gosh, well, I can't think of the name of the one that does, like, you can get invitations and all that stuff. Is it Zezel? God, no, it's not that. It's one of those places as far as like getting things printed and stuff like that. I'm having a whole brain freeze. There's Minuteman Press. Like here we have Metro signs. When you go and you see the big signs in front of department stores, if you see the advertisement, those are all companies that started from where all of us are starting now. So it is very much so possible to be one of those larger companies, but you got to have a halfway decent, solid foundation. And some people may not want to have, education training. You're just going to kind of piecemeal it together. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, because there's a lot of people who have piecemealed together. And then once they got a better understanding, their businesses are flourishing and, they're thriving. But every last one of us can be that major company. You're starting off now. And that is something that I think is very important to understand is you are at a starting point. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to have all the answers. 10 years from now, you're still not going to have all the answers because something is going to change on you and you're going to have to learn and adapt to a new way. But my goal in the classes and trainings and programs that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is to really help you set a really good foundation and help you with effective practices and being very realistic in how this journey is going to go. And someone who's been there, someone who's still in it, who can help you, guide you, who's going to understand what you're going through. All right. So that's Vistaprint. Thank you. I knew it was something. Thank you. See, y'all always got my, oh, that's Trina. Y'all always got my back. Thank you. So someone says Vistaprint used to be our favorite. Oh yeah, and I know one of them was like Zazzle or something. I said, I knew I wasn't crazy. I know some of them. So, but anywho, a lot of people have come to me. I started this one because I was just sharing. I was a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom. I got tired of talking to a kid all day. So I created an outlet where I can communicate with other adults and just sharing what I was doing with the silhouette. It has turned into this business for me where I end up helping more people and people want to learn from me. And although I would love, if I could have, if there was a way for me to hit the Powerball and I would have all the things that I would need to take care of my family, I can 100% assure you that I would be doing this for absolutely free. Like as far as getting on here and giving this information. But that's not my reality. I did not hit the Powerball. We played it, not this last time, but I didn't hit the Powerball. So we have bills, we have a house, a home to take care of. We have this business to take care of. We have children. We want to be able to send them to college. The same American dream that each and every one of you have, we have as well. And through my sharing and people seeing just my passion for it, my level of excellence in everything that I do, I get a lot of people that are asking me questions. And I can't very well answer all of those questions without sacrificing the quality or the time that I spend on my business when I was like creating things, because there's so many people coming at me. So a lot of my business transitioned from me doing those things on the daily, making myself available to help others. All right. So when people ask, well, why are people charging? There's all this stuff on YouTube. I am the YouTube. I have 8 years of amazing detailed videos on YouTube. If you are not able to attend or join any of my programs, I completely understand. I have been in that position to where it's something that, although I really, really want to, I would have to really look at finances and figure out where I can squeeze this in if this is something that I really, really wanted, knowing that I can do this. And if I do it right, I'm going to make that money back. All of us want to be in business. So if we're selling a shirt, we should be selling a shirt for at least $25 for some of these. Over time, we're talking 6 months. If it's 6 months, you haven't made $500, we probably need to reevaluate what we're doing. So for me, this, I would love to be able to help for free, but I just can't. So yes, there are price points to these classes and these programs. And I completely understand if you're not able to join, I still plan to be here and to do free content and, my videos on silhouette. Come on, give you guys some motivational things and like little tidbits here and there. It's just a lot of stuff. You're just going to have to go and find it and piecemeal it together. All right. So with all that being said, for a whole 28 minutes, with the technical difficulties for 10 minutes, here is what's on tap at 365 Creative Academy. I am trying to break everything up kind of like in semesters, right? And in this set of semesters, which I'm breaking up into like 3 months. So we're talking February, March, and April. There are going to be some other things that are going to come up within like March and April, and only a few of these kind of run into February and March. But in this semester, the things that are on the site right now are the first cuts. last year and on a lot of my videos, and you guys probably have seen, you don't get to see, and I left this one here, I strategically left this one here. So it's my Cameo 3. It's the one that I don't like. So I gave it some shine because y'all know I do not like this one. Okay. So it's not my favorite. But I've spent a lot of time on the design side because, truth be told, that is my passion. Like, if I can sit and design forever and all day long, I would. That is my happy place. That is what I love to do, is design. And I spend a lot of time on that and teaching guys Silhouette Studio. But I've gotten so many questions about the machines. In my mind, I'm like, it's a machine. You design it, that's the major part. You load it up, you cut it. Hey, that's it. But that's also based selfishly on my experience with it and my ability to adapt and learn the machine. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are some things like how it cuts, understanding your cut settings, understanding the different materials, that all heat transfer vinyls are not created the same. Where even if it says it's smooth, if you're cutting vinyl that is just like a cheap Chinese one or like PU one, if it's a Caesar, or if it is cat, like Stahl's cat cut, if it's Thermoflex, they all don't cut the same. Those settings are not universal. So understanding that, so that you don't have to rely on so many people giving you all these different things when you're asking questions in groups. Groups can be amazing, and they definitely can be of help. You can go there for encouragement. Some people may not like your style. They may get some feedback. It's all in how you take it. But sometimes, like, just getting all these, okay, well, try this setting. You get so many suggestions for settings without any context, right? No one, like, they'll go and they'll just throw out settings. Well, what are you cutting? Is it detailed? Is it something that is like, is it thicker? Is it something that's bold? Is it a new blade? Is it an old blade? Is it your mat? Like, there are so many variables to it, and people will just throw out random numbers to you, not breaking anything down, not bothering to question anything. And you go, it's like, okay, well, hey, they said that. All right, a couple people said do this setting. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then you end up frustrating, feeling like, man, I've wasted all this vinyl. None of these settings work. You start to think that it's you. Maybe I hate, and my students will tell you, when they come and say, oh, I must be dumb, I can't stand that. You're not. It's just that you don't know something, or just learning it the proper way. So my goal in the first cuts is to help you understand these machines, how the different types of mats that you use, how that's going to affect it. A lot of it, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be information overload. Straight up being honest. For what you're trying to do, to have a business, even to be a great crafter, a great hobbyist, and not waste your products that you're not making money on, accept the fact that it is going to be information overload. Whether it is information that you gather through your mistakes and your trial and errors, or if it's information overload from taking a class and writing notes. We had information overload in school, from elementary school to middle school to high school. The amount of information that you got, it can be overwhelming. Are you prepared for the test? The success of your business is that test, right? And what did you do to prepare for that moment? So first cuts is about understanding those machines, because I spent so much time on the design. Really someone who's taking the time to say, what mat are you using? Are you using a Silhouette mat? Are you using a Cricut mat? Are you using a third-party mat? How old is that mat? How old is that blade? These are questions that you have to ask yourself, and that is what first cuts is for. So the first wave of it is just really getting in and just understanding the machines. That's what we're doing in February. So it'll be 2 sessions that will happen in February. You can attend one or both if you want to just kind of get the information double time. But it is going to go over how do blades work. What's the correlation between the blade depth, the force, and the speed? Some of you guys have 1, some have 2, some have 3, some have 4, some have the 4 Plus, some have the 4 Pro. The 4 Pro works totally different than any of those other machines. There's things like, where do you move the sliders at? Why does my mat, like, these are all questions that you guys have. And I've experienced them all. I've helped people with these. Every time you guys have a question, I'm on it. If I see it, I'm on it. I'm giving you an answer. But this particular program will allow you to get the inner workings of it, be able to take notes. And also in this, I'm having someone on so where I can develop a workbook that goes along with it. If you're not effective with taking notes and being able to have that workbook and have some of these things like highlighted, and some of these things that you may not experience right away, but having a guide where it's like, man, she really thought of everything. I know it's always perfect for me. I got perfect cuts. I've never had an issue. But what happens when you have that issue? How do you get yourself out of it? How do you know how to make adjustments? That's what First Cuts is about. And like I said, the ones in February is going to be kind of like your intro. It's almost like just unboxing it. So many of you guys got a Cameo machine, even though you didn't need it. Some of you guys did not need a Cameo machine because you just wanted the design part for sublimation. But now you have one. Let's put it to use. So it's unboxing it, understanding the different components, knowing which one you have, right? So that's what it is for February. And there is the first, oh gosh, I'm going to go to the page and give you guys the exact dates because my notes that was in front of me, they're falling. I have no idea where it went to. It's not on my desk anymore. I had it all in front of me and now it's not here. So let's go over to my website so I can look at that because, yeah, my calendar's in front of me. So the First Cuts for February is the 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and the 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a get to know your machine type session. And then in March, which it's not a part of this, it is going to be, because some of you guys might be okay with whatever information you get in here. Boom, hey, I'm good. In March, it's going to be something that's more so hands-on. And each week or each session, I'm going to already have designs for you. This is not about designing in any way, shape, or form. This is not about understanding compound paths in any way, shape, or form. We have to realize those are two different things. Designing it and cutting with your machine are two different things. There are some people that never touch designs. They're going to buy a file, they're going to open it up, and they're going to size it and cut it out. And that's the reality of some people. So you have to know that they're different. There's no one program, no one class is going to teach all of this stuff to you guys. So with that, in March, the first session is adhesive vinyl. Adhesive vinyl is one of the easiest ways to get familiar with your machine. And so we're going to do it hands-on to where you're going to cut it. Some of you guys in the class may have different mats, different blades, different this, different that, and others can learn from it. Session 2 is heat transfer vinyl. Although there are a lot of heat transfer vinyls, we are going to focus on smooth, glitter, and flock, only because there's quite a few people who use machines for rhinestones. And at first I wasn't going to do it. And then someone asked a question. I said, you know what? Let's talk about cutting flock. And although you may not have any, you're not doing rhinestones, just hearing how like the adjustments, maybe you will come across a product or a material that's thicker and you need to know how to work your adjustments. Okay. So that's what the second one is for HTV, smooth, glitter, and flock. The third session is paper cuts. So with paper and cardstock, if you're someone that is just a paper crafter, that falls in line with, like, let's say if you're doing party favors or toppers for Pringles, for cakes, for cupcakes, and you have to cut cardstock for the backing, things like that. That's where that is, to understand those settings, understand when, what are your options if you want to score something. Are you going to do the perforated lines? How do you adjust those settings so it's not so deep? There is no real score feature in Solar Studio, but there are things that you can do. So there's going to be a lot within the paper crafting one. And these are just scratching the surface because, like, you know, as you go into it, there's so much to it. This is just the first semester. This is the beginning one. So it's getting you started with cutting paper and things like that. The last session in March is going to be print and cut. So whether you're print and cutting on cardstock, if you're print and cutting for eco-solvent, even a little bit of doing print and cut if you're designing into a studio and you want to be able to save it to take to your role. We're not going to focus on it too much, but just getting an understanding of that, like truly understand your registration marks and how to adjust stuff. That's what's coming up in March. It's not on the website yet, but that is a part. And I told you I'm gonna break down all the stuff that's for this semester, February, March, and April. So that's for the machine. If you are someone that's like, I need help when it comes to my machine, join us. Even if it's out of the box, join us on the 7th or the 21st. You can join either one because of the different time frames. 1 p.m., 7 p.m. You can do more of an evening, 7 p.m. Got some time in the afternoon, if you're on the East Coast, the 1 p.m. on the 7th. And then from there, you can decide if you're going to need that second level of first cuts that's going to happen in March. All right. That particular one is $23.65 straight up, you know, because it is just more informational. It's an introductory class or like training. $23.65. All right. So that's all on the website. The next one is going to be what a lot of people have asked about, and before that, because it actually comes up before this one. I call it the T-shirt business roadmap, right? And this will take place on February 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll have another live one March 3rd, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What this is I did it before. It was called T-Shirt Talk, and I just changed the name of it just so that for those who may take this one again. But it's really setting the foundation and understanding all of the different ways that you can make shirts. I'm going to give you the benefits and disadvantages of them. Let you know, like, if you're wanting to do this in-house, what to expect with each of these methods as far as equipment that you are going to need. You know, I'm one that I don't do embroidery, but I am in love with just the art of embroidery. I'm trying to work to see if I can have one of my embroidery experts come in to talk about that part, because even with that, there's a difference between having a single needle, a multi-needle, a multi-head, and then how many heads are on that multi-head embroidery machine, which affects like how effective you are and how efficient you are if you're doing a lot of embroidery, right? Because there are some people who are very successful. One that I can think of off the top of my head is Angela Jasmina. I love looking at her story and like what she does. Also, Alexis Galloway. And to see that, like, you know, they're successful in their own rights. Like Alexis was just at Impressions and speaking on the panel about embroidery and stuff like that. And when you look at the machines that she has compared to all the ones that Angela Jasmina has, they're at different levels, but also successful at the level that they are at. So there's a lot of money to be made in that. So we're going to go over, I'm going to let you run down the things that we're going to go over in the different methods and the advantages and disadvantages, what it's going to take like to get into it and do those things. So like the price points for it: HTV, sublimation, screen printing transfers, DTG, which is direct to garment, DTF, eco-solvent printing, eco-solvent transfers, white toner transfers, printable transfers. That's your StarCraft, your Jet Pro 3G, your Avery, your Pen and Gear, like all of those. Which ones are kind of better, and you know, just a general like look at like those different materials and how they're going to feel on shirts. Just kind of working through that as an option and where they're beneficial at, especially if you're trying to build a brand. Printable transfers can be great to basically make prototypes and just see how the design looks before you go and spend money on DTF transfers and things like that. Embroidery, and then print on demand. So it's going to be information overload, but this is why Every single last one of my classes always comes with unlimited playbacks. You know, you'll get some information, and I encourage you guys to take it one class at a time or one section at a time, and you'll go back in, listen to it, take notes so that you can figure out what is it that you want to invest in. Do you really need to have and offer all of these different types of shirts? Knowing all of these methods, I promise you guys, is going to help you, as you guys like to say, niche down and help you figure out who your target audience is, because each one of these has a benefit for different customers. And you guys can't go and have every last one of this. Some of you guys don't have the space. You don't have the capital. So what can you do? And what do you really, really, really want to do and offer? I'm going to be able to help you break that down and get an understanding and make a sound decision on which methods you invest in to either purchase equipment or which methods you would like to research further and find vendors for, to where even if you don't have the equipment, you can order those and you make sure that you have the right equipment to apply those to, although it says t-shirts, because that's a really good SEO word. This will apply for t-shirts, sweatpants, shorts, like any apparel, any fabric. I actually have an order that I'm going to do where it's a sweatsuit. I'm doing the top and I'm putting a design on the pants. And all of these methods can apply to, you know, any type of apparel. But I put t-shirt business because that's just, I'm being honest, that's SEO. Everything about that is SEO because that's the term that is trending right now. So you can join us for that live talk and live chat and discussion, getting the breakdowns of it. Again, that is going to be on February 3rd, 2023 at 7 p.m. or March 3rd, 2023 at 7 p.m. The cost of that is $33.65. Yeah, both of them are great. Yes, I love both of them. All right. Will design space and Cricut be discussed? That is not my area. I don't really, so for as far as like me teaching classes on designing and machines and stuff, I don't own a Cricut. I cannot teach something that I don't use. I know I've used a Cricut before. I know Design Studio, which actually there's a video coming up today where I'm going to do some, you know, it's between Silhouette and Design Studio, and just to show you things on there. So I've done trainings. I have people that book one-on-ones with me because they love my teaching style. And I do know Cricut Design Space. Like, they have no desire to do Silhouette. Why? I have no idea. But they wanted the Cricut, and I still do the sessions with them. But that is not an area that I will ever have like actual classes on. For me, it is going to be things like Silhouette, Photoshop, my Roland. Once we get the DTG printer, if you're interested in that specific DTG printer, I will eventually have trainings on that once I get a better understanding of it. Just because I get it does not mean that I'm going to, okay, yep, let's start doing classes on it. No, it'll probably be 6 months to a year before I do a class on my DTG printer. I'm going to be perfectly honest with that. So that's that, right? So t-shirt roadmap. And then we have first cuts. And then we have next untap. Okay, I'm trying to think. Should I do Photoshop or the Creative Business Program? Let's just talk about the Photoshop essentials real quick. No, this I need it because I don't think I put it on here. I don't think I listed the dates. Oh, I did list the dates. I think it's the Creative Business Program. I didn't list the dates. So I use Photoshop. You know, I've shown you guys that I use Photoshop. I just posted something where I show you that I am more comfortable in Silhouette Studio because I do feel like just to get my ideas, it's a lot easier in Silhouette Studio to navigate the tools. If you got, come on, y'all, double tap the screen because let's get me back up on the For You page. So double tap the screen over here on TikTok. Also hit the share button a few times. You can just hit copy link and it will share it out. So that will definitely help. Okay. Hold on one. Even, can you call Chris's dad? Yeah. So I use Photoshop. To be honest, the programs that I use is Photoshop, Illustrator, I used CorelDRAW back in the day. I was trying to get back into CorelDRAW only because of that Rhinestone Wizard. Like, I got to get back into the habit of using it because of the Rhinestone Wizard. Silhouettes, and I use a little bit of Canva, but that's more so for social media posts and like with my sister, things for like their website. I like it for a lot of those things. Now, there's things that you can do in Canva, but that's just not what I use it for. There are a lot of instructors out there that will do videos or they'll have classes to learn how to do full on designs and things in Canva. They'll use it for KDP and like, their print on demand stuff. That's not how I use it. I will be having some sessions where I touch on Canva a little bit, but it's how I use it. I am never going to go and say, I'm going to teach you how to do an all over shirt from Canva, because that's just not what I use it for. I am one who subscribes to the thought process that you should be doing that in a more robust design software. So I will never be able to help you with Canva. Some of y'all have asked. I appreciate the fact that y'all love how I teach, but I can't do it, okay? But a lot of people have inquired about Photoshop because they feel like they've gotten a handle in Silhouette Studio and they can really get some great design concepts, but they want to amplify it and take it to the next level. And it's not to say that you're going to, at this time, you're going to be this Adobe, superstar, Photoshop superstar and be able to just do all things in there. My Photoshop Essentials are those beginner tools. It is for beginners. I specialize in helping those who are beginners. If you are someone that's been using Photoshop for a long time, now my techniques and how I do things might be a little bit different than anything you've ever experienced. I learned that in my 30-day silhouette training, but I really do it for beginners and there's a lot of tools in there, and they can, of course, enhance your designs even more, but you got to start somewhere. So I'm going to do this to focus on those tools that are used in pretty much the majority of the like designs and stuff like that. And we're going to have a little bit of silhouette in there because I'm going to show you a little bit of like, if you're not quite ready, like just take it on full on, how to kind of create your concepts in Silhouette Studio and then move it over. We're going to have like a little bit of comparison in this particular one, right? This is to understand the tools and functions of Photoshop. It is an 8-week program. So there's 8 different sessions. 7 of those are really like program and getting to understand the program. And then we're going to have 2 sessions of designing and applying everything that we have learned in those 7 sessions. This will take place at 1 p.m. There is no evening class for this one this semester. My goal is to do this again. It won't be the second, it'll be closer to the end of the year. Like, so basically in that 3rd semester of classes, it won't be in the next one because I'm gonna need a break from Photoshop. But the evening ones will take place in the 3rd wave of classes. But this one is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, you have access to the playbacks to be able to watch them over and over and over and over again whenever you have time. But I always do all of the first one of my classes live. That way you guys, whoever's in attendance live, can ask questions. They will take place February 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, March 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and the 29th. All right? So 8 sessions. The things that we are going to go over, like the first session is the program layout, how to set up your files. You know how you guys always, and people say, oh, well, they want it in 300 DPI. And we're thinking that it's like a specific size. You don't understand what DPI means. You don't understand what pixels mean. That is what we're going to go over in session 1. So you get a full understanding of that. What does it mean to have, can you have something that's 11 by 17 and be 300 DPI? But then if it's 8.5 by 11, it's 300 DPI, but the pixels are different. Why is that? So that's the stuff that we're going to break down in day 1, like really going down to the basics. And that's something that I've kind of, audited and kind of peeked in on some things. And a lot of people kind of skip over that in their Photoshop trainings, and even on YouTube. The next session is going to be on text, warping text, and then the different layer styles of text. I am one that really feels that fonts and text can make or break a design. And the layer styles, although you can apply them to images and things, how you apply them to text can really like change up how a design is. So that's the second session. Text, warping text, and layer styles. The third session is on your selection tools, your pen tools. So like your magic wands and like masking things off and stuff like that. So that is, and we'll also have a little bit of, as we're going through like different selectings, you'll see how it kind of works together for like different edits. Then we have color adjustments and selecting by color. So when you go and either do color overlays, or if you take something to black and white so that you can take the opacity down, or do different blend modes, because things look different if you have it in color and you do a blend mode because of all those different colors. If you go and you put multiply or screen or hard light, it's going to look different compared to if you take all the color out of it and then apply blend modes, because then we're going to get into blend modes, you know, a few things down from that. So the color adjustments and understanding all of those is going to be important on how to do those before we get to blend modes. Then there are the next session is your brush tool, which helps in with fading off things when you're using the layer mask and things like that. Your clone tool and your blur tool. Gaussian blur is one of the most used tools in Photoshop and in designing. And then we're going to go through blend modes, and those are all the ones like breaking down those tools. These are our key tools that are pretty much used in 83.65% of designs. And then the last two sessions, we're going to put together some designs utilizing pretty much each and every one of those tools that we've gone over in those 6 sessions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, in those 6 sessions. The last two, we're going to end up putting together some designs and things like that. All right. They're not going to be specific. I know sometimes we want to take classes like, oh, I want to learn memorial designs. I want to learn how to make some stuff for Mardi Gras. How do I create Valentine's designs? How do I create birthday designs? It's all the same. It's just changing pictures. Like, I promise you, it's literally the same steps. The hard part is selecting the right images. And that part you'll get more of in my design program, which we'll talk about that. But this is just understanding the software. It's not the same way I broke down Silhouette Studio, but it's still going to be very, very helpful. How I did Silhouette Studio, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with it, and I can't do another 30-day program right now. So this is really, really going to set the foundation and get you started. So like I said, that's 8 different sessions. This is one where you have a couple of different options as far as payment, okay? This particular one, if you do the one-time fee, it is $250 for these 8 sessions. Now, you can choose Sezzle, Shop Pay, or PayPal, Buy Now, Pay Later. These are all called Buy Now, Pay Later payment options. So there's another one on there. You're going to notice that the price is higher on that one because we end up taking the hit. You guys go and it's like, it's great for me. I get to break it up. But as a company, we take a hit on that, and others are paying a fee. And if you're going and, I mean, how can I say it? I guess for you, you're technically paying it, but because you want to break it up, it is a little bit more because we also have admin fees that are associated with that. It costs us way more for you guys to have your payments broken up. So the Buy Now, Pay Later, you're going to see that it is $300 on there. If you select the one-time fee, but you check out with Sezzle or PayPal, or PayPal, Buy Now, Pay Later, or if you do PayPal doesn't really matter because it's not going to affect us. That's on you. But Shop Pay and Sezzle, it does. So if you do Shop Pay or Sezzle and you choose the $200 one, we're going to give you an opportunity to pay the remaining balance. If you do not pay the remaining balance based off of what you should have selected, your enrollment will be voided and you will be refunded and you will be removed from that group. Well, not from the group. I don't do it's not a Facebook group for that one. You will be removed from that program and you won't have access to any of the content of it. So make sure that if you think that you're going to use Sezzle, you are clicking on the one that says BNPL, buy now, pay later. Make sure that you are selecting that one. If not, you are at risk of voiding your enrollment for this one and the next program. If you would like to pay for it weekly, you feel like it'll be a lot more manageable for you that way, click on the description and you're going to click where it says click here if you would prefer to pay weekly. And that is going to take you directly to the 365 Creative Academy website. And there is an option there to either, again, pay the one-time payment there, or you can do it weekly. Your first payment will be $43.65. Each payment, for the week, will end up being $35.63 is how that will work. Okay. So if you want to, you need a little bit more control, you can pay for it weekly. All right, so that's the Photoshop one. The question is, how long does each session last? I always plan for an hour and a half of instructional time. Now, if questions are asked, if we have to share screen and things like that, I do leave, that option. I want you guys to be able to ask questions. So for me, for instructional, I give myself an hour and a half for these sessions. Do they always last that long? No. It might go 2 hours. We've had some that have gone 3 because of people's questions. But how I do it and how I break it up, I'm going to give you the instructions, and there are dedicated times for questions and then an extended Q&A period at the end. So that way, if you are not able to stay on longer, you don't have to. You can go, you get all the, the meat and potatoes of it, and then you're able to leave after that hour and a half, 2 hours. But for those who have the extra time, I always offer an extended Q&A period, or if you want to share your screen, you kind of got lost on something, and you have that, and that's still recorded. So that part is recorded, and it's just as a bonus part of it. So you, if you had to leave, someone's question may benefit you, so you'll still have access to view that extended part. But I plan for 1.5 hours of instruction each time. Of course, I never do pre-recorded classes. One, I don't want to hear my own voice. I don't want to sit. Did y'all not hear me say I started this because I didn't want to be in the house with my at the time MJ was 3, 4. I like live classes. I like seeing faces. I like hearing voices. I like interaction. So every single time I do a class, it is always going to be Zoom for the first run, and then you get to watch the playbacks. Every class, you never have to worry about me doing a pre-recorded class. No, Creative Business and Photoshop are not on the same days. You know what? I think I know why you're asking that. Hold on. Did I make a mistake? And because of the formatting I told y'all it was a lot going on. And I had to do stuff, and I was instructing people and training them on how to do this. So let's see if I made the mistake of I did. Okay, that's why you're asking that. It's not. Let me go in there and correct that right now. And as soon as I read that, I realized what it was because of the formatting of it with all the headings and stuff. And I want that to be uniform. It was like copied and paste. And I did not realize that the dates did not change. So let me go in there, the joys of Shopify, which we will have a Shopify session and just like a general breakdown of Shopify for things like this. And I will be doing my actual Shopify start to finish again. Let's see. Let's go over here. Thank you so much for that question because I have to find I'm missing a sheet. Oh, duh. It's under here. I remember now where I put it at. Okay. So the Creative Business Program is actually Mondays, so for Money Mondays. The correct dates for that one is it starts on February 6th. So it's all Mondays, all right? So February 6th, and then I'm going to put in the dates now. So hold on. Actually, shoot. Okay, let's put six, because it's not written on here, but it's Money Mondays. So we're talking February 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, March 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, April 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th. So it's just every Monday for 6 months. Like, I mean, I can go through, and that's why I did not have all of them here, because the way that program is set up, it's every Monday for 6 months. Like, it is going to be a lot of information, and it's like we'll kind of start some parts of it, and it may end up filtering into different weeks, because there's a lot to this. A lot of you guys are working on the hands-on part, right? You know how, I mean, I know how to make a shirt. I can sub a shirt. I can sub a puzzle. I can sub a tumbler. But what about the administrative and the logistics side of it? How to take orders, even before you have a website. Everyone may not be, ready for a website, because that means you have orders that can come in at any time. And if you know that you're not prepared for that, and what happens when you come and you just get this huge order and you're not prepared for it, we're going to discuss things like that in the Creative Business Program. Okay, so it is, Eastern Standard Time for, I'm sorry, I said 6 months, 3 months. No. It is. Okay, yeah. I'm like, I knew it wasn't, actually it's supposed to be 3 months. I put on there 6, and that's why I said, I'm like, wait a minute. We did end up changing that. So it is actually, all right, I'll say this. Those who sign up, and the fact that right now on the website it says 6 months, I will grandfather you in for the next 3. But this is really only for 3 months. So I'll keep account of those who do enroll before I change it. But it is supposed to be only for 3 months. So, 3 months, February through April. On Mondays. All right. So, yeah. I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. So that is all the dates up until April. February 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, the 3rd of April, the 10th of April, the 17th, and the 24th of April. And this is a pilot program. And that's why I said I will grandfather you in, because it is going to be extended, because there's a lot of stuff for business and accountability and things like that. You may not, after 3 months, you may have everything that you need. You may need to have that accountability and just have that working network for an extended period of time. So it is something that is going to be extended, but that's why in the title it says pilot program. It's going to also allow me to really see who's there and what your needs are, to see if I need to make any adjustments to make this program better for you guys. So that is why it says in parentheses pilot. So that's why it was originally we were going to do it for 6 months, and it was changed once we kind of discussed some things and just kind of getting the feel and not overwhelming and being able to take an assessment of those 3 months, right? So it's 3 months, but if I'm going to also let you know that you guys will still kind of have it's like an additional like half a month, like month, because we're going to kind of evaluate with all the information that you had, what were you able to implement? What are things that you need to work on? Kind of helping you develop a timeline to maybe hit the rest of those things. So it's like 3 months, and then there is a 1 month of, or like half a month of like download and just reassessing everything. And then the next 3 months will start. So that's why that was broken up that way. You sign up for it, I will guarantee it. You sign up for it before I change it, I will grandfather you in for the full 6 month program, or it's like 7 months. But if not, once I change it, it is only 3 months. You will only have access to 3 months. I'm telling you that now, okay? Hello, I'm scrolling along, stopping to all crafters I see and showing some love. Well, hello, I'm not a crafter. I will say that. So I'm definitely not a crafter in that sense. I do crafts with my kids, but as far on the business side, I don't consider it to be crafting. But thank you for stopping by. I really, really do appreciate it. Okay, so where are we? But so thank you so much for that. She says I might as well send my paycheck today. And we have, you have some time. You have, and what I'll do is, they're going to kick my butt for this. Even with that, I'll give you guys some time. I did mess up, so I will give you guys some time. I will give you guys until February 1st, like especially for that creative business. It's a bigger investment. So, you've got to kind of figure some things out until February 1st. Like, so before we start on the 6th, for you guys to make that decision to join, and you will still be grandfathered in for 6 months instead of the 3, because I was going to change that later on the day. But I'll leave it until, well, not February 1st, the 31st, the last day of January, 11:59 p.m. Anyone that signs up after that, do understand that you will only be you're not going to be added to both pilot and then the extended program. You're going to be only in the pilot, okay? For 3 months. Yes, so wait, let's go to present screen. So if you're looking for it on my Academy site, you're probably not going to see it there because of how I want to really make that up. Shopify is a little bit different than how my Academy site is. They're technically 2 different programs. They're not connected at all. So how I have to set one up, where one is just like kind of a picture, is a description. The other one, you kind of have to set up a whole landing page. So they're really hidden. I think only one is not hidden I forgot why it wasn't hidden. But it's only because we have to go in and fix the page and stuff up. But let's go here and there. All of them are on the website. So when you scroll down right here, new and current live trainings, there is the Professor's Creative Business Program. And you do the one time. If you're doing buy now, pay later, you will click on this one. If you are doing if you want to pay for it, the option to do it weekly or monthly to where you can kind of control it, you can click here and it's going to take you to the program, and you can choose to do 6 months, which I will, dang it. See, that's all those things have to be adjusted. Or you can do the weekly. So that's on there. And if we go back to over here, we're going to go back. Oh, you guys can't see. Duh. Hold on. I know my lights, and I can't really reach up there to turn it off. And then we have the t-shirt business. I need it for SEO, but in the description, I'm going to put it for apparel because it's really for all clothing. So that is there, and it's a one-time fee. But the class is still hosted on the Academy site. It's just that, I mean, this is a one-time fee, so there's no link to go to the Academy site. Once you sign up here, if we go all the way down, it tells you, it adds you to the Academy. And you can also, you're also going to get an email that's going to talk about that, especially if you are a new student and you've never taken any of my classes. Okay. And then we have First Cuts. And we have Photoshop Essentials. So you have the one time, or you have the buy now, pay later option, meaning that when you go to checkout, you're going to choose Sezzle or Shop Pay. And then you have, if you want to do it weekly, you click here and you'll pay for it weekly. All right. If that is how you want to do that. Oh, dang, 27 shares. Wow. Thank you, guys. All right, let me come back here. Let's flip the camera. All right. So I'm going to go back over these and I'm going to review them. So someone says, I'm joining the live late. What class are you talking about? Before I go over what is shown on there, the other class that will be posted really soon, I wanted to be able to get these out. I was actually overwhelmed too. I'm like, this is team too much. So even with training someone to do it, it's a lot. We have the foam board. It's been a while since I did that one, like the foam board basis. That's probably been like 3 years since I did that particular class. And it's been 2 years since I did the 3D letters and like marquee and balloon mosaic. And one of the things that, you know, when I got the roll-in that my mom wanted to do was be able to put the images and stuff inside of it. So that's going to be a part of it. And you guys will be able to order your prints from us if you don't have a roll-in or you don't have a local printer that you can go and get your adhesive prints from. So the foam board class is also, it's going to be put on the site today. That particular one, these are Friday classes. So those right there are, I'm sorry, no, Saturday classes. So that's the ones that I'm missing now are the Fridays. So what we've gone through is First Cuts is our Tuesday session. Well, it's one in each month. And in March, it's going to be every Tuesday. So those are your Tuesday sessions. Photoshop is your Wednesday sessions. Creative Business is your Monday. So Monday's Creative Business, Tuesdays is Cameos, Wednesdays is Photoshop, Thursdays is Designing. That's the one that's also about to be posted soon. So that's our designing days. Fridays, what was Fridays? Fridays without a chance. Okay. Okay. Is that the t-shirt? Is that the apparel one? I believe that's what that is. Because Saturday, it's every other Saturday because we're doing some Saturdays where it's in-house if you're in the South Florida area, and then the other Saturday is online. So we have the foam board one, and that is on February. Is that February? That's January. That is February 25th and February 11th is the foam board one. And that's going to be online. And then locally here for the foam board, it is it's the 18th. Like it's like really one day. As far as locally here, you'll be able to attend the live, well, the online one on the 11th for like the general basics and stuff, but you're going to still get some hands-on here. But that's just so that we can kind of cut through some of the red tape and really get into it on the 18th. So I have a live one, in-house one on the 18th for the frames and stuff like that. And then the online one is the 25th. So that is our Saturday ones, and that's foam board. So I got classes going on. This is what our academy is for. Our goal was to have classes every day of the week. Now, y'all may not be able to attend every day of the week, but that's what our business is. And, our academy, we want to make sure we have classes every single day of the week because that is our core business. All right. So those are the ones you guys can be on the lookout for is the foam board class, virtually and in-house, and then also the design one. With the design one, it's like on Thursdays. And my goal with that is really to teach you guys concepts for layouts, composition, choosing fonts, text. When I'm designing things and like my approach to it, if you guys saw the image that I did where, my client sent me two pictures, they gave what I asked for, 2 pictures. And this is one of the reasons why, I'm even going to teach you guys things like that. Why do we ask for at least 2 images, right? I didn't necessarily use both of them, but in the 2 they sent, each one of them had things that were not favorable with them, right? On one of them, how they took it, because they took it with the phone, it looks like somebody's finger was there. So her pom-pom had like this weird, amber shadow on it. And that needed to be covered up. And then there was another one where, and on that one, I loved her smile. And then on the other one, she just looked mean, right? Like she was like all angry. She just had pom-poms here. And I'm like, dang it. But all the rest of the image was good, right? So I ended up taking part of the pom-pom from one and making the one with her beautiful smile. I completed that image. But I also did a version so I could have where I took her head from that one that had the messed up pom-pom and I put that on the one that she was mean mugging. So I always, it's things like that. So when I'm talking about creative business, especially if you're going to be doing things where you're getting people's images, we're going to discuss stuff like that. Why do we ask for more than one picture? And how to communicate them that just because I'm asking for all of these does not mean that they're all going to make the final cut, especially if you ever get into doing obituaries. They will send you 1,000,001 pictures, but all of them cannot make the cut. But you want to have options, especially depending on if your template and the space that you have left fits more of a landscape or a portrait. You can't just kind of shove it in there. These are all the things that over time you're going to learn about this business. There's so many layers to pull back. There is no, okay, I want to get into it. Let me take 1 or 2 classes. Boom, I'm good. I'm going to know everything about this. It's always something when it comes to this creative business. So those, like I said, that's Thursdays. That's coming. Those dates are February 2nd, the 16th, March 2nd, 16th, 30th, April 13th, and 27th. It's like every other week. I think that was every 2 weeks when it comes to that one. But just kind of seeing a glimpse of how I design, how I approach designs, and then you guys getting your hands and mouse and keyboards kind of, diving into it. We're going to do a little bit of silhouette and then help you guys transition into the Photoshops of it all, and a little bit of Illustrator for those who are wanting to do Roland and the major cutters. So we're going to do a little bit, but the main focus of it will really be silhouette and Photoshop as far as designing. I don't really use Illustrator for major designs. I use it somewhat for logos and my things for my Roland and stuff like that, some tech stuff, but I don't really use it to design. It's silhouette and Photoshop for me. So those will be on Thursday. All right. So just to recap, because she asks what class are we talking about? These are the new classes for 365 Creative Academies. This is our current semester. Right? We have first cuts. So if you are somebody that has a Cameo, you've been scared of it, you've been intimidated by it, it's still in the box, it might be out of the box, but not even being used. It's kind of like my out of the box that I did 2 years ago with what these sessions are. And then in March, we're on March. We have March 1st is adhesive. March 7th is adhesive vinyl. March 14th is HTV. March 21st is paper crafting and cardstock. The 28th is print and cut. But those are not up yet. We're going to get through the first cuts. The ones that are happening now are your orientation. So we have first cuts. There is a 1 p.m. and a 7 p.m. in the month of February that you can attend for that. That is $33.65. Then we have our Photoshop Essentials, which will be on Wednesdays. It is at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not an evening class for that one. But one of the things I did say is that I will probably add a review day that's more so like the evening, and break this up and kind of have a review day to go over maybe some of the things that we've gone over and have a so I'll probably end up adding a session for you guys, 2 sessions for the Photoshop one, just for those who can't make the 12. I said 12 noon, 1 p.m. I don't know what I'm looking at. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me check the website because I know I'm not crazy. Yes, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I'll throw in that evening one just so that you guys can still ask me questions and stuff like that. And you guys will have access to the student union. So you can post questions there, and there's certain ways that I can answer them. The creative business program, though, you guys will have a dedicated group for that on the Academy site. I'm looking to this. Some people talking about doing like Discord and stuff like that, because the group that comes with my Academy, you don't get notifications like if someone posts something. Like you would have to go in there and check for new posts and things like that. I'm trying my best not to do the whole Facebook thing. Y'all know I ain't too friendly with Facebook right now after they shut down my account. So I don't really want to put that, because that's something that's so important. I would hate for something to happen and we lose access to our creative business group for stuff like that. So I am looking into other options for us to meet for those who are in the creative business program. So Photoshop is on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You also have access to the student union, if you have questions, and I'm gonna squeeze in. It'll be nice. We'll squeeze in a couple of evening days for review only. Review only. All right. Then the creative business program is our program where it is currently, it's the pilot. It's set up for 3 months. You will see 6, but it's really set up for 3 months, where we are going to go over all of the back end, the administrative, the logistics part of running a business that is mainly like handmade things. A shirt is still handmade, candles, or whatever your product or service is. I'm going to break down the back end and how you can set a foundation for an actual business. This is not about taxes. This is not about business structure. This is not about business credit. So I'm going to let you know that off the bat, that is not what these are for. That is not where I'm an industry expert in. It is not going to be about business credit. We will touch on it and the benefits of it. And once you have things set up properly, the benefits of it and how you can utilize it to take your business to to the next level and stuff like that. But that will not be a core point of this. Your taxes, the things that I will teach you as far as inventory control, understanding your overhead, understanding what your budget is, it is going to make it a lot easier for your tax professional when it comes time for them to do your taxes. But I am not a tax professional, so I will not, add that. Now, if I can get someone to come in that's going to talk to you guys about that as a bonus, I am still looking, I have a few people in mind, but I'm gonna always vet folk, and I'm gonna have consultations with them first to see, how they really are, and then see about them coming in. Also with legal structures. My eyes have been opened when it comes to legal structures, and in the long run of things, even if you do an LLC now or whatever, in the long run, like making those preparations, understanding what's going to be the cost of it, what's the differences in it, what's the tax implications of either one, or tax benefits of it. Because I have been enlightened on some things. And when I saw Warren Buffett's thing, I was blown away. I'm like, well, damn, he owned all that? God dang. So I'm not going to ever go over those as far as saying, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell you, we're going to do your business structure. We're going to do this. We're going to make you doesn't make you legal. That just makes it to where you are held accountable by your state and the feds. Okay, that's really what that is, and just setting up your articles, and of course, for like banks, like there are benefits to setting it up, but there is nothing wrong with you starting off as just self-employed, just a DBA, and just being a sole proprietor. Sole proprietorship is a business structure. Just the same way LLC and partnerships and corporations, sole proprietorship is in fact a business structure. What is different is how it is viewed when it comes to your state, and how it is viewed when it comes to your taxes, and how you file your taxes. Like that type of information, I'm going to give you guys the fundamentals of it for you to go and research yourself and talk to your tax professionals about it. But we will not be having sessions about that, because that's just irresponsible of me and what I'm doing, because that is not my area of expertise. But I will give you the tools that's going to help you further research them. And then, of course, I just talked about the roadmap for shirts. Well, for apparel, we're going to go over HTV, sublimation, DTG, DTF, screen print transfers, screen print, white toner transfers, eco solvent transfers, print on demand. Like, you name it, we're going to go over the advantages and disadvantages of it. What's the startup cost if you want to do it in-house? What are the benefits of, starting out by just outsourcing them? Is it going to affect your bottom line? Technically, yes, depending on how you look at things, right? Yes, it won't be as much money, like your line order won't, and your final total to you probably won't be as much. Well, that goes like into your account, that stays in your account. But imagine if you had to pay someone to do this anyway. When you outsource, that's just an extended hand. Like, that's almost like that's an extension of your business. Think of them as an employee, like they're doing the work. You're going to have to pay them for doing the work. It's the same thing if you had someone in-house. So it's just your mindset when you're thinking about outsourcing, or thinking you have to buy all these machines to do it all yourself, and you can't, because it's just you. We have to adjust that mindset when it's just you to start off. It's okay to start off that way, but you definitely should not end that way. And as you progress and as you become more knowledgeable, it shouldn't be to where if you work this for 20 years, you've worked this for 20 years by yourself. Okay. So the business course is on there. I'm not sure if you're on my Academy site, you're in the wrong spot, because it's not fully set up over there yet. You're going to go to our website. And when you're on the website and you scroll down past this amazing sale that ends in a few days, and you come down to right here, new and current trainings. Creative business is right here. Okay, creative business is right here. Wait, can you guys see that? I don't think you can. You can't. Okay, there we go. This is where the creative business is. Creative business, t-shirt business, or apparel business roadmap, Silhouette Studio first cuts, and Photoshop. The ones that are coming that will be on the site later today are the phone board class and the design program. Okay. Oh wait, where are we at? Will that course be for beginners? Meaning which one? Creative business, photo. I specialize. Okay, I'll just say this. I specialize in beginners. And that's why, like I said, it's a pilot program. And that's just my specialty, in that is a lot of beginner information. If you're on an intermediate level, there's going to be some things that you probably never thought of. There's going to be information that you're like, oh, okay, I knew this. All of us, I guarantee, most of you guys are hoarders of information. You are on TikToks. You are on Facebook Lives. You're on Instagram Lives. You're watching YouTube videos, YouTube Lives. You are a hoarder of information on my platform. There are things that I've talked about 1,000,001 times, right? And you've picked up some things along the way. Just in discussions with other people, you've heard about different things, whether it's a segment on Good Morning America, if it's a segment, something on like conferences, and you got little snippets of these BTs. And I remember when my grandmother passed, but I wanted to go to Black Equity, the conference here. So when they had their little snippets, I can almost assure you, some of the information that I'm going to discuss, you have heard it once before. Because it's not like I'm going to really go and get something that's like, this is mind-blowing, it's new, this has been sitting in my brain for forever and a day. Like, there are going to be some things that you've heard before, and you're going to probably feel like, oh, okay, I knew that. But then there's going to be a lot of things I can guarantee you with how I teach and for me truly understanding what you guys are going through, what your goals are. Sometimes we go under or we go into programs and it's very generalized, right? And they take an approach that, oh, well, business is business. This is how every business is run. And it's not the case. There's there are two gentlemen that I respect wholeheartedly. I love the conversation. I love the dialogue. I love the things they say. It's a lot of confirmation for me in how I speak and how I think about business and things that I've expressed to you guys, right? But one of the things that I noticed in how they talk about things, a lot of their advice, a lot of their conversation, a lot of their dialogue is based on service-based businesses. Now, those who come in, they say product, they kind of throw some things in and it does make sense for it. But at their core, they are client-based and service-based businesses. It is a lot different when you have to worry about inventory, when you have to worry about machines and the upkeep of machines, when you have to buy miscellaneous things that you really can't annotate to like a dollar amount, like ink, tape, poly mailers. Like, there's so much to this business where you are going to hand make something and you are going to ship it out. What happens and how do you deal with it when you ship something out and UPS breaks it? That customer does, or postal service, USPS, that customer doesn't really want to hear that, and the fact that they lost something. They gave their money to you. They did not give their money to UPS, USPS, DHL, or whatever carrier system you might use. They didn't give their money to them. So they're going to come back to you and they're going to be looking for you to make that right. How do you protect yourself in that, right? If someone has never had experience in that, how can they really coach you on that? Those who have never spent years in this and understand why you have to have terms and conditions and why you have to have policies, and the fact that your policies will change when you deal with difficult clients or difficult customers. Most of us, we have customers. We're not really talking to them like if we just sell tumblers and we just want to brand a shirt. We're not having a personal relationship with them. They're going to take their happy-go-lucky behinds on this website. They're going to select their size, select their quantity, and they're going to check out, and you're going to send it to them. Think about how you are when you have ordered from Johnson's Plastics, Heat Transfer Warehouse, The Blank Spot. Hell, honestly speaking, you guys have a personal connection with me, but I don't pack y'all orders. Y'all don't have a personal relationship with the staff that does that in the warehouse and my husband. Y'all don't have a personal relationship with them. It is you place your order. He don't know your face. He don't know your name. He don't know your voice. He don't know what you look like on social media. He don't care what you look like. You place your order. He gonna pack it up and it's gonna be packed up. We have literally the best shipping. People literally compliment us on how my husband handles packages. You hear me? That's just a wonderful feeling when we got compliments on that. He don't care about y'all. I'm just saying. I am the one where, for me, my part in this business is helping you guys in this journey and having that kind of personal relationship and being able to have consultations and hold you accountable. And I've worked in this, has even helped me with events, Can even probably tie a sash on a chair. Yeah. Can even, let me see, I'm not gonna say he can blow up a balloon for a balloon column. But he can definitely do tablecloths. He's ironed out tablecloths before. When I've been doing stuff, he just gets it and he's watching his football or watching his show. And so he's done tablecloths before. Even has glued some things. He can work a glue gun. So he's helped me in that part of the business, but that's not like, he would never be able to teach a class on this, right? I've done all of this, and from on so many different layers and levels of this, I've done it. I've been blessed to intern and work in places that's going to benefit. At some point, I am going to get him to come on because his experience in working for a company like, Levy Restaurants or Compass, and working at American Airlines Arena and seeing how mock-ups are as far as pricing and a warehouse and keeping up with inventory. These are things that are valuable to our business, which helps us run very well. And that's something that can help you guys because we've been in that industry where we've had to handle inventory and a lot of money and counting out money when we're going to the cash room and there's checks and balances and things like that. Like, together, we have so much to offer in this type of industry for hand makers and creative businesses. And that's what we really, really want to do. And that is where we want 365 Creative Academy to excel in, not just in the practical side of what we do as creatives, but on the back end. And eventually, I want to get to the point where we do have a resident tax professional. We do have a resident business structure professional who you can have consultations with, which will be a totally separate fee, but you're going to work with them to understand all of that. We're going to have someone that can really help with it, really understanding your business credit, and not just, even before you get to the business credit, helping you with your regular personal credit so you don't screw it up. You'll hear some people say, oh, it doesn't matter what you do with your personal credit, your business credit is different. But if you have bad money management, you have bad spending habits, you're going to take that same thing over into your business. You got to have to train your mind, train your wallets, train your spending to manage your business credit. What does it mean? Grants, which ones can be beneficial to you? Because some of them have a lot of different rules to them. So I want to be able to get into that where I get, whether it's me or someone on our staff, we get a full understanding of grants to be able to either direct you to somebody who's a great grant writer, how to find grants. Our ultimate goal is truly to provide a service and to provide education that you are not going to find in any traditional higher learning institution. They're not going to teach you about running a t-shirt business at Yale, at Harvard, hell, at Florida Memorial College. They don't have these things to teach you all of them. So our goal is to be that, to fill in that gap. And one day, hopefully, people see that this is something that we need actual education on, and 365 Creative Academy can be accredited. These are the goals that I have, but everyone has a starting point. So for me, it starts in here. It starts with me doing live sessions via Zoom. It starts with me having discussions and having Facebook groups to connect with you guys so that I can also build this to, if it starts off at the level of Kaiser colleges and, y'all have those trade schools and stuff like that, that's what my goals are. And it takes money to get there. So that's everything that we're doing here. All right. The packaging is impeccable. Yes, he definitely knows your face. He definitely knows your face. Will the classes be weeks that you can choose take? So when I have classes and so you're asking basically for a la carte, there will be certain things that may be a la carte. And there are going to be ones that it's just that, so when we go into the graduation program and, that's one that's specific to preparing for graduation, when it comes to the stoles or just sublimation ones and things like that, if you want to take single classes. But as far as the creative business program, no, you will not be able to go and say, okay, well, I want to attend the session that's just on shipping without a website, or the one for creating a budget or for marketing and branding. You will not be able to break any of that up. The Photoshop one, for that one and how that is, again, no, not really. There is one that's a little less, probably a little bit more cost effective for you, where we went over image editing and fading things off, editing photos. So that might be a little bit more cost effective for you, but nothing in that one will ever be broken up. But I probably will have an a la carte class that is just for like a specific thing. For the design program, any of the programs and full-on trainings, they're not going to be broken up as far as you being able to attend any of those Zoom sessions. But be on the lookout for standalone sessions, and you will pay for just that one session, but it won't be a part of any of these programs. All right. Any other question? Any questions? I signed up for the creative business for 6 months. Well, thank you. I look forward to seeing you. The first session that we have for that one is going to be kind of a brain dump. When we do that one on the 6th, it is going to be, kind of a brain dump and kind of I want to have as many students as possible, but I will say when it's a smaller one, I can really take that time to listen to you guys, get an understanding of where you are in your business. And, maybe some of the sessions, even though I have them planned a certain way, it might adjust it. So if I go and let's say all of you that sign up, like everyone is pretty much just apparel type things, then it might, adjust a little bit of how the things I talk about. But if we have a mixture of those who are doing apparel, or you're just doing tumblers, let's say you're someone that wants to do what I do as far as like selling a supply such as paper or sticker paper or ink and things like that. Like I'll have to adjust a little bit. If you're someone that does candles, it might have to be adjusted a little bit for the industry that you're in. So when it's depending on like how people sign up, that first session, my goal is to really be able to talk to a few of you guys and get an idea of your business and what your goals are. And as a reminder, because you signed up today is 6 months, it's really only 3 months. So it's going to be kind of how it's broken up. We'll have the 3 months of all of those topics. We're going to have kind of a, hey, let's evaluate the 3 months, and then the next 3 months will start. But you will be grandfathered into the next part of it since you have signed up already. All right. So any questions? I don't see any other ones. Let's see. So is there a difference in day 1 and day 2 for the first cuts? No, it's going to pretty much be the same exact like baseline information from me. Now, questions from the audience might be different, but for the first cuts, they're the exact same information. The only the reason why I did that was for that particular one was to have a afternoon and an evening one. The ones that will come in March when we're going through all of those are all evening sessions. There are no daytime sessions for those. No, ma'am, you are the expert as soon as you unbox it. That's how we feel about you. Oh, thank you. If we attend the classes but can't attend the live, will it be recorded? Yes, every last one of my classes, every last one for the past, I think like on the Academy one, it's been like on there, it's like past 3-4 years. But even those who took them, like, I think it was like the heart of the pandemic, like was that 2019, 2020. Even with those, they technically, that was before that, because I think, did I have the Academy site then? But there's one of them to where the classes were in a Dropbox, and it was like all the playbacks of it. So I've always given unlimited playback access to any class that I have done, because I understand that we all have lives. We have to watch a little bit here. Shoot, it took me 3 days to watch an Hawaii Five, not Hawaii Five, NCS Hawaii. So I understand if it's a 3-hour class and you're not able to sit in, and there's all these different classes that you have to pretty much, take in and get information, because I'm trying to learn the hands-on part. I'm trying to learn the business side. So I understand. I will never make it. It's almost like it's DVR. Okay, I gotta figure out how to put that in there. It's like DVR. You can go back and watch it whenever you want. One thing about ours is you don't run out of space with your DVR at home. At some point, you got to delete some stuff because you're going to run out of space. You can't record nothing else. I got that part covered. We pay good money to have a whole lot of storage so that y'all won't have to worry about it, okay? But yeah, it literally took me 3 days to watch an episode of NCIS Hawaii because I kept having to stop. That's the perk, exactly. As soon as I graduate, I plan to go full force with everything. I really appreciate you. You're very welcome. Thank you. Experience, strength, and hope. Thank you. Let's see. I know some of Silhouette Studio, but not a lot of the design part. Should I take the learning silhouette class before? Yes. Because if you're not familiar, like really familiar with, and you still struggle with like what's compound path, and if you go to subtract and something weird happens, you don't understand why. When we go into the design ones and we're doing it, you're going to end up being lost if you don't know like where things are. Like I should be able to say, go to your modify panel. And some people say, oh, well, you move the mouse too fast. I can't see where you went. But when you know the software, you know exactly where to go for the modify panel, whether my mouse moves too fast or not. That is what the 30-day training really is for. You are becoming familiar with the program, knowing where things are. If someone tells you to go to the knife tool, you can almost visualize in your head where the knife tool is, where the trace tool is, where the pattern color fills are. Like you can, especially mess around with me, you'll be able to visualize the keyboard shortcuts. That is what the 30-day training is for. It's nothing in there that's really like full on. We have like 3 or 4 days of designing, like bring it all together. But it is to familiarize you with the program, so that when you watch a YouTube video where someone's just kind of going through designs, if you take a class, you're able to follow along in the class much better. Oh, sidebar. Photoshop and the designing one. I highly recommend that you get a second monitor so that you can have the program on one and watch me on the other. If you try and just do it off of the live stream, it's going to be a delay. For the designing one and the Photoshop one, I highly, highly recommend that you have a second monitor. You can just go to the website. Y'all know I'm very detailed. So when you go to the website, it literally lists all this. My descriptions are very, very detailed. So each class will have its own, as far as a calendar. So each one that you go in, you will be able to add it to, like, if you have like a Google Calendar. I have my master calendar for me, but if everyone is not in those classes, I don't want you to look at it and think that you have a class coming up. It's like, oh, I'm missing class, or asking about a class that you're not enrolled in. I do have a master calendar and I can still put it out there. But each class will have a calendar that you guys can print off and keep for yourself, as well as the one that you can add to your like Google calendars or the calendars on your phone or your computers and things like that. Will we be grandfathered? If you purchase a creative business one, yes, because that was my mistake on there. That's why it ended up changing to where it says pilot. And originally it said 6 months and it was a different price point. And I said, well, before we commit them to 6 months, let's do 3 months, because it will probably be an investment where you're like, okay, this is way more than what I thought it was going to be. I paid to kind of get this knowledge, but I don't know if I want to do a full-on business. So that's why we did 3 months. And that's going to give you a really good look at if this is something that you really are ready for, if you want to pursue. So because we changed it, if you sign up now, I have guaranteed that if you sign up between now and the end of the month for the Creative Business Program, since I did not change it, I will grandfather you in for the full 6 months. But the core part of it, all of those different things, will happen and will be discussed in 3 months. And you'll basically just be able to be a part of the second wave of trainings. Is the designing class the same as the recent ones I took, or is this a new one and it's different? So that's why that was called a crash course. You have so many, you have a great foundation with that one, right? It was a crash course, and it was, of course, Silhouette Studio is what I did that one from. The next wave of designing one, as I'm designing, it's more like, there's going to be, that one is not necessarily a beginner one. If you just want to be able to absorb a lot of stuff. So I cannot say that what we're going to go through in that design one is going to be beginner. I can't stay on beginner forever. I have students who have been with me for years, and they have learned like the beginner stuff of silhouette and designing. So I have to create programs that are for them as well, for them to grow. I can't try and keep them suppressed. So with the designing one, it is not being advertised as anything that's ideal for beginners. Those who have a working knowledge of programs, and it's like, okay, I'm still struggling with finding the right images. Am I choosing the right ones? Understanding when your client said, I'm going to give you a lot of real world, like that designing one, real world applications when I get an order, because we're still taking on orders. I'm teaching, but we are still building the business of like our print shop, because that was always my dream. So you're still going to see me doing actual orders. How do I go about removing a background? How do I go about composing a design? If it's something where I have to kind of like fix it, you're even going to get an inside peek when people ask me questions. I do a lot of videos, and like someone asks a question and I will do it like just kind of openly. There's going to be times where I'm not going to do that on my YouTube or my Facebook. Only those in the design program will get access to that, because I'm going to break it down of, okay, this is the question they have, and this is why we would do X, Y, and Z. You see how the head is cut off. This is what you can do, because if that's the only picture that they have, this is what you can do. If they give you a picture that is not so great, it's going to seem crazy to take a high resolution image, put it into Photoshop, and save it to where once you blow it up, it's a lower resolution. That will seem like most people like, why would you ever do that? Like, why would you? But if all someone gives you is a low resolution image, why would you put a set of high definition or high quality wings or even a background on it for it to stand out like a sore thumb? That doesn't make any sense. So you can make small edits to where you have, like, they may want wings or something on the back, but it's going to match that picture a little bit better. That grinds my gears. I'm like, I'm how they say? Wait, what did they say? I'm going to keep it. Oh, God. I'm trying to keep up with the lingo. I'll be 42. I really feel kind of old with some of this stuff. What they say? I ain't going to hold you. Is that I ain't going to hold you? I be hearing people say it on TikTok, on lives and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell that's supposed to mean? It's something else. No cap. I hear that one all the time. I'm trying to be cool, y'all. Okay? See this gray hair? But it grinds my gears. Like, being totally honest. When I see people do designs and I'm like, you really gonna put them like straight up, and especially when it's like cartoon wings, and you put them on this picture? How did it work, Harpo? Or they're like full on feathered wings, and this picture was from like 1980 something, and it got like all types of distortion to it, but you got this really crisp set of wings on it. Y'all don't understand how much that drive me absolutely bonkers. Where, yes, ideally we would like high resolution images, but the truth of the matter is there's so many people where their family member may not take a lot of pictures. Or even if they did, maybe you had great pictures in the phone that you lost 5 years ago, and this is the only picture that you have. How can you make that look great? How can you honor that person? So they send it to you. Are you just going to turn them away and say, I can't do anything with this because everything just looks crazy? Or learn how to make that picture work if you can, and offer them other options. So my design program is going to be a lot of you guys getting into the head of the professor and how I approach designs and things that people don't practically like generally teach about, because most people teach you about the perfect scenario, the perfect pictures, high resolution. That's what you want to get. You want to get high definition from them. If you want to open up a print shop one day and someone sends you something that is not great, do you turn it away, or do you say, hey, this isn't great, we are able to fix it here, but of course you're going to charge them for it? I saw Stan do that. I'm not sure if he ended up doing it for Demps, but like when she sent hers and he was like, okay, look, I'll tell me the font that's kind of like yours, I'll recreate it for you, because you're going to get situations where the file just isn't going to work. How do you handle those? That is what my design program is really, really going to be at its core. I take anything Shakia does on design, always learn something. So when does your design class start, and should we have the 30-day class completed? Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can do them together. Just know that it's not going to be slow paced. The design program starts, it's all the Thursday stuff. So it starts actually February 2nd with this. So there are going to be dedicated scheduled sessions, February 2nd, 16th, March 2nd, March 16th, March 30th, April 13th, April 27th. Those are going to be scheduled on the books, Zoom sessions for specific things. But with being in this program, like I said, when I have a question, even if let's say if I put it out in a video, I will end up doing a session or a video that's just for you guys, where you can kind of see my process. If I end up getting an order in, it may not be a lot of what's what I'm looking for? Talking through it, because I'm going to end up I'm going to work, right? But you'll be able to go back and watch that video of how I put together a design or whatever. So dedicated sessions for the design program for this semester, February 2nd, February 16th, March 2nd, March 16th, March 30th, April 13th, April 27th. 7 dedicated sessions. But throughout the week, at random times, based off of when I'm working on orders, there will be pop-up sessions. That one will be on the site later today, if not tomorrow. Because it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've never taken anyone's course on course creations, because I was already kind of into it. And I always wonder, do they really go over all this stuff? Because for each course, it's like you have to sit down and think about, go through your calendar. So just as a quick one, as far as figuring out courses and stuff, going through your calendar, I had to compare this to my personal calendar. The fact that we're going to Atlanta next month, I'm going to Atlantic City in March for the impression show. So I had to think about my own personal calendar and adjust certain things, and that's how I chose times. So there was like weeks or a week or days of just comparing my calendar and figuring out how I wanted to do these. Then it's like breaking up this, like, what the topics are and writing all of those down, writing the descriptions. Oh my gosh, like doing descriptions is, I definitely need to have my brother-in-law do that because he's great at writing. But just like the descriptions. Then there was the creations of the thumbnail so that it looks like something when you're looking at it, having that quick snapshot in the thumbnail. So those are things that have to be created, they have to be written out, they have to be typed out. Then let's put it into the system. I have to go into my site, my course site, which for me, I use Thinkific. There's things like Samcart, there's Teachable, there's Udemy, there's like, some people use Patreon or whatever. So I have to go in there. I have to create the course. I have to put in the pricing over there. I have to put the description in. I have to add the picture there. And then that's just like the one part, because I still got to go and do the curriculum part. So you look on the website, you're not going to see any curriculum. It's there, but it's still in draft mode for me. So I have to go in and take all those things off of draft mode. But then there's a site builder. Just because you create the course doesn't mean that the site looks like something. Most of mine, because I don't really use it, they're hidden. They don't look like nothing. But this one, I wanted to look like something. So trying to create that, and you have to do it for each one. There is no template that says, okay, we're going to do, you hit a button. This is going to apply to all the classes that you have. It don't work that way. And it's set up to where it's connected to Shopify. Well, all of the information don't transfer over to Shopify. So I then had to go and copy and paste or retype all the description stuff in Shopify, right? All of the dates and stuff in Shopify. Once I get it in Shopify, I then have to go over to Klaviyo because there are certain emails that need to go out when you purchase each class. So now I got to go over there to that part of it, and I have to set up flows, or I have to set up certain things. I have to set up lists. I have to set up segments, or us as a company, we have to do all of these things in Klaviyo. Oh, the other part of it was, these are live classes. I have to then go in and set up all of the Zoom sessions. Y'all see how many days that is or how many classes it is? So I got to go and set up all the Zoom sessions. All of my classes are streamed immediately to where you have access to it. So I now have to go in and create all of the playlists for all the recorded classes. I have to set up my laptop. I have to have all the folders that all the recordings are going to go in. It is a multi-step process. So for those people that have these little quick, course creation stuff, and they teach you all this stuff in like 2.5 seconds, they probably ain't teaching you nothing, and you're going to be stuck like Chuck on a lot of this stuff because there's a lot of steps. So when people are asking, well, I ain't charging for this. Y'all see all that work I had to do before I even got paid? Ain't nobody paid for not a nary a course. And I have been working my behind off for weeks and going hard for days and got not nary a coin yet. Don't even know if you guys are going to sign up for it. I may have done all of this prep work for nothing if no one signs up for it. So it's a lot to this. And I'm hoping I get paid for all the work that I've done. And that's just being honest. But it's a lot of work to this. It's a lot. You can purchase it now. Go right to the website. It's the Creative Business Program. The link is in the description. What that link is going to take you to is right to this. So it's going to take you to here. It's going to take you to here, and you're going to see those 4 that are available right now. So this is the 3-month creative business one. This is the T-shirt business roadmap, where we're going to go through the advantages and disadvantages and estimated cost of setup for all of these different ways that you can do custom apparel, silhouette first cuts, and Photoshop. She's like, I was just about to ask when his designing course will be. Sign me up. If you this is a great place to start as well. If you don't know, because when I go into the designing one, I'm not really going over a lot of the essential stuff, guys. I'm focusing on designing. All right. I have loved all their classes and learned so much from each one. And also the design one will be like the design program is a mixture of Silhouette and Photoshop. I don't see the business one. What do you mean? It's right here. When you go to the shop site, so this is the main page of the shop site. If you scroll down, it's actually still listed here. So it's the first one. But if you click on see all, you can see them, like you can see the thumbnails bigger. And I know someone on TikTok just signed up for it, so I know it's there. All right. I'll probably be back a little bit later because this one's getting long. I want to get off. The audience is dwindling. We've been on here 2 hours talking about this. I did not expect to be on here this long, which is probably why my husband's leaving me now, and I haven't even eaten yet. So I will be back on to talk about it. And yes, my TikTok audience is non-existent at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and hop off. You got to know when you're worn out, you're welcome. And I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I will be back. I have not done on Wednesday. I was not able to do the regular general Q&A. I have a video I dropped on TikTok that it was a pre-recorded one I have to drop on Facebook and YouTube about editing in Silhouette. And then there's one that's, I'm doing it live for the Silhouette and Cricut. Because I know it's going to get questions because it was something I said in that video. And I said, though Cricut users are going to come for me. So I have to correct that. And then, so you guys are going to see a little bit more of me. But just wanted to come on because I didn't come on Wednesday and let you guys know about the classes. Okay. The Photoshop one is $250, correct? If you are paying for it just straight out, there is an option for you to pay for it weekly. So if you read the descriptions, it's going to say that this is, you have the one-time fee on there. If you would like to use buy now, pay later, such as Sezzle or Shop Pay, you have to choose that one because it takes out a big chunk of that. You don't take it out for you guys, but it takes it out for us. So you have the buy now, pay later one, and you can click on that one. Or if you want to just manage it a little bit better and pay for it weekly, you can click, there's a link in there that says click here to pay it weekly. You'll sign up for it. Once you put your credit card information in, it will take it out weekly. If you ever miss a payment, you go to your dashboard, you are not going to see any content. And then the creative business one is $500. If you do buy now, pay later, it's $600. Have you ever taken a poll to see how many interested and asked for prepay to register or sign up, then hit the ground running? Maybe take a poll of. So I've done stuff. I can barely get y'all to ask questions. I've done polls. I've done posts for stuff. I don't really get that good distribution and stuff like that. Sometimes if I do it, it's like the same people who answer, and that really does not help me any. I'd rather just kind of do the work. It's not saying it's no skin off my back, but I'd rather do the work and then I kind of like put it out there. But when I've done polls, someone even suggest that to me. But when I've done polls, y'all don't participate. Like, I'm being honest. Like, it's a struggle to get y'all. Like, I come on, I'm saying, hey, I'm here. Like, ask your questions, and it's dead. But let me go into preacher mode, and I'm on here, and I'm like going at it. It's all these comments. I come back, I'm like, well, damn, it's comments galore. Like, you guys come, okay, just give me the information and let me process it. Let me comment. Let me go by. That is how I have seen like my audience. Now, for other people doing polls, if they have more of an interactive audience, it might work for them. But for my core audience right now, y'all don't respond to polls. Y'all don't respond to, unless it's a post where I'm saying something crazy like Coke or Pepsi. Y'all got answers for days. But if I make a post about something related to business, it's something that's motivational, something that's related to design, it's like crickets. Y'all bypass that. And so I make these decisions based off of the trends of what my active listening and active viewing audience does. And that's kind of why I do the thing that I do. Oh, I'm asking because I'm contemplating taking a poll to see how many want to learn Photoshop to create and edit photos. I mean, you definitely can. I'm not sure how much content. So I also put it out this way, right? For me, I'm very present all the time. So I know how my audience, how they interact, their buying habits, things like that, because I'm very, very present and I know kind of like what they want. Because I'm active in my groups and in other groups, I'm listening to when people say, okay, you know, like the frustrations of silhouette. I've used Photoshop for a really, really, really long time. But I didn't really necessarily teach it. Like for me, it was like a beginner level. It's like kind of getting people started, and I taught silhouette. But silhouette is frustrating when it shuts down. It's not really meant to like handle like heavy things, and you want to do blend modes and stuff like that. I'm hearing my audience already tell me this is what I need. When I'm looking at my groups or even other groups, and I'm seeing that there is an audience of people that say, I want to learn how to fade off the bottom. Well, you know, how do I not get a square image? So your poll is in what you do every single day. How in tune are you to your audience? A lot of people will tell others to get, you know, start their own group. And what most people end up doing when they do that is they only really interact in their group. You're not going, and not to go there to like take from it. You're being of value to these groups and you're really seeing the questions. You're going to answer a few questions. If somebody asks a question, I'm going to do a video. The video I'm about to do after I eat is based off of a question that wasn't even in my own group. It was in a different group. But I am in tune with the pulse of this industry. So I get polls every single day seeing what people are asking. So if my advice to you is, if you're not in other groups to be of value, but also get market research, you may want to start doing that. If you make the decisions only based off of the people that are in your group or that are subscribed to your channel, it is going to be very hard to reach other people and know what they need. I'm always talking. Dawn and I are always talking. Not many people do, so it can be frustrating. It really, really can be. The design classes, it's a mix. So the dedicated ones is a mixture of 1 p.m. and some 7. Because there's certain ones like because I have certain topics for these days, and then like I'm hoping that you guys will be a little bit more active in the evening. This is another situation, right? I've done a lot of classes, and all those who have taken these classes, how you guys purchase them, how many, like when you were in attendance. So when I've had classes and I've had an evening class and a daytime class, I'm looking at, well, where's the majority of the interaction at? And if it's at the 1 o'clock class, I've done sessions where I've had an afternoon and an evening. And the evening, no one shows up. It's dead. So I'm not going to go and schedule it to where I'm talking to basically no one. So a lot of the design type things or like discussion, especially discussion type ones, are in the daytime. It's going to be at 1 p.m. each time. I also have to limit my evening classes. I love what I do, but my kids are up at 7:30. Okay, we roll out of bed with them and get them ready. I like they'll roll out of bed around like 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock is when we leave our house to take the kids. Well, not 9. We actually leave. Actually, my time frame is a little bit off. Zani Maya has to be to school by 9, so we're leaving our house before. MJ has to be to school at 9:10. We try and get him there before. So really, we're out of the house, and ideally, if we can get MJ to school at 8:30, that's like ideal. Get Dynamite to school by 8:45 so he can have breakfast. But I am essentially up anywhere from 6:30 to 7 o'clock. Your girl is up, all right? I work a full day, a full day. don't want to be here till 8, 9 o'clock every night, just so I can do a class at night for y'all not to ask no questions and y'all to be dead. And we got time for that. So, the same way y'all got work days, I know that most of you guys are working your business in your off time. This also kind of helps you because if you can take an early lunch and you can sit in on the session, while you're at lunch, you can implement it when you get off work versus watching a class when you're off work and you should be working on orders. You're trying to focus on a class. So I am one where I am completely in tune to what my core audience does, what they need. So a lot of them are in the daytime, like midday, and there are certain ones that are in the evening. There's certain ones that are on Saturday because I want you guys to maybe tell your significant others, take these children and go. I need to really be focused. I don't want to cut nothing. That's why the phone work class is on the weekend. So I am very strategic in how I do them. The impromptu ones is going to happen out throughout the day. Ain't going to be no warning, ain't going to be no lead up to it. When it's time for me to design, I'm going to be designing. But the dedicated ones on the 2nd, the 16th, 2nd, 16th, 30th, 13th, and 27th is a mixture between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. All right, let me get off of here, y'all. I got to eat. My mouth is dry. My lips is cracking over here. I got to get something to eat, but I will be back. I actually have 2 videos to do today. So turn notifications on because I can't use @everyone in the groups anymore. So I recommend that you go to my YouTube and turn on the notification, turn your bell to all so that you can at least get that notification because I can't use @everyone in my groups anymore because you can only use it one time every 24 hours. So yeah. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible.